Hello everyone, this is Jeremy Malfay with Fundamental Tennis. In this video we're going to talk especially about your forehand and two-handed backhand. If you're a one-handed backhand player, this tip can help you one-handers as well. Now we're going to be talking about how to create topspin for those of you who are having trouble creating topspin, or maybe you want to add even more topspin to your shots. Now also this video and tip is going to help you to vary the amount of topspin you put on your shots. So maybe you want to hit a ball with a lot of topspin and a little bit of speed, or maybe you want to hit the ball with a lot of speed and only a little bit of topspin, or anything in between. The more tools you have, of course, the better. Because singles, doubles, there's so many playing situations, there's so many different styles of opponents and players you can play against. You need to have all the shots in order to deal with each match situation. Now, when it comes to topspin and varying the amount of topspin, it's all about grip tension. I know you guys have probably heard that you want to swing low to high to create topspin, and that is of course correct. Now I would like to add something which, by the way, I think is something new to you that you haven't heard before, which I'm excited to bring to you in this video, and that is that your grip tension and how loose you hold your grip will very much influence how much topspin and really ultimately how much racket head speed you can create for both spin and speed. Now, if you hold the grip tight, then you simply will not be able to create as much racket head speed, which leads to less power and spin. Now, I want to talk specifically about varying the amount of topspin and speed that you want based on the situation. You're on offense, you're on defense. That will influence what you want to do with the ball, of course. Now, if, for example, I want to hit the ball with a lot of topspin, okay, I want to hold the grip extra loose during this downward and forward swing so that my racket head naturally goes well below my hand. Okay, it's not enough to swing low to high, because if you are tight, and notice how, let's say I'm going to hit the ball this way. If I'm tight and I swing low to high, notice my racket head does not drop below the level of my hand. So it's going to be quite difficult for me to create topspin. So that's, again, reason why you want to make sure you're not holding the grip very tight. So if I want to hit a lot of topspin, I hold the grip loose, and because I hold it loose, watch what will happen. The racket head will drop significantly below my hand because of that. Now, on the other hand, let's say I want to hit the ball quite flat. I certainly don't want a death grip. However, I'm not going to hold the grip as loose. That way I can control the depth of my racket drop. And when I say racket drop, I mean how much the racket head goes below the hand. So if I hit a very flat ball, my racket head may not go below my hand at all. For example, if I get a high short ball, I'm going to hit the ball quite flat. I probably won't drop my racket head below the level of my hand much, if at all. Now, if I am well behind the baseline, you generally want to send a higher ball with more topspin because you're farther from your intended target, so you need that safety, that net clearance, that topspin in order to keep your consistency, and keep the ball in the court. So, how loose you hold the grip will greatly influence how much you get below the ball. In fact, I have found working with players that I like to talk about grip tension to create more or less topspin, as opposed to saying get your racket lower or swing more low to high. It seems to be, in my experience, again, a more natural way and a better way, a more efficient way to intuitively create that topspin and speed combination that you're looking for in each individual shot that you hit. So, a two-handed backhand. I just want to give you an example here. So if I want to hit a lot of topspin, I'm going to hold the grip nice and loose, extra loose, especially with my right hand. I want to make sure my right hand, so my bottom hand, I'm a righty, is very loose. I want my right wrist to be loose to allow that racket head to drop. Okay, we see, for example, Rafael Nadal, sometimes you'll see his racket head is almost directly above his hands, depending on what he's trying to do with the ball. Now, if I want to hit the ball flatter, because maybe I'm up 40-love and I want to just go for it, take a little chance. Maybe I'm on offense, hopefully, when I'm doing this. I'm going to hit the ball flatter. I'm not going to hold the grip as loose, and then you'll see the racket head will not drop as much. It'll be more in line with your hands. So how much topspin you want, or how little topspin you want, or how much speed or how little speed you want on your shots is very much dependent on how loose you hold the racket. Now, again, we want to hold it loose, really loose, or not as loose, depending on how much topspin you want. So the more topspin you want, the looser you hold the grip, okay? And if you want very little topspin, you're going to hit the ball quite flat and low. Hopefully you're on offense, otherwise you're probably taking a risk here. Then trying to hit it quite flat, you're not going to drop that racket head as much because you're going to want to hold the grip not quite as loose. So I've been very careful with the words I'm saying. Sometimes I want to say hold it tighter, but 99% of players hold the grip much too tight. Again, you'll see in the link below in the description, I talk about that specifically and how you can figure out how loose you should be. So the depth of your racket drop, so whether I drop it a lot or I drop it very little, that is going to be dependent on how loose you are. More topspin, you want a lot of topspin, hold it very loose. If you want just a little topspin and you want to hit it really quite flat, then don't hold the racket or the grip quite as loose. Now, the one-handed backhand has some additional things that need to be addressed. If you do have a one-handed backhand and you want me to do a video on how to get a quality racket drop, then just let me know by leaving a comment below and I will be sure to make that video for you. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm excited to hear your feedback. Let me know in the comments section if you have any questions, and if you're still watching, please do me a favor and give me a like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Oh, and by the way, I just released a new and free serve training series that will show you one simple tip to fix your toss forever. I'll show you the #1 serve power killer and how to banish it forever. And a great tip to adding massive kick to your kick serve. All for the incredibly low price of free. If that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave a link down below or somewhere on this screen. Feel free to check that out. All right, I'll see you in the next video.